Welcome back to art class with Mr. Darby. Today we're going to be folding a paper airplane, and I know that we can make airplanes, we can fly them outside, we can have a little competition with them, and if you're at home today working on an airplane, I want to encourage you to go outside and try and throw it as far as you can. Measure it if you can measure the distance. Maybe get out your PAPS tape measure and see how far you can make that airplane fly. Try different techniques. Check it out on YouTube. See what different kind of airplanes are out there, because not every airplane folded is going to fly the same way. Some are meant for tricks and some are meant for distance. So you can even check out some of these videos online about how far the farthest airplane has flown. That's actually a thing. So Guinness Book of World Records kind of thing. So here we go. Get a piece of white printer paper and let's fold that airplane together. Okay, so I got this blue paper here today, just so you can see it a little easier than white paper on the table. And the first thing we want to do with this paper is fold it horizontally in the middle. When you're working with origami, and yes, paper airplane folding is a style of origami, you're folding up paper, you want to remember to be as accurate as possible. That means when you make your folds, okay, that you make them as perfectly as you can. So you want to line up those two edges of the paper, and when you fold it, you want to fold it, and I press my finger on it. If I look at that, it's lined up and it's touching perfectly in the corners. If it's laying down and it's kind of folded this way and you can see it's not perfect in the corners, you need to start over. Open it up, refold it. And when I do that, I like to pinch in the middle and wipe to this side and then wipe. Now that we have our paper folded perfectly, let's go ahead and open that back up. And we want to fold that paper right like this. So you're going to take this bottom corner and you're going to fold it in so that the top edge of the paper lays up against this middle fold, kind of like this. And push. Okay. We want to do the same thing on this side. So we're going to take this corner here and we're going to fold it up so that it's touching the fold. You don't need it to touch the other edge of the paper, but touching the fold. And the more perfectly that you do this, the happier you're going to be, because these folds aren't going to be perfect every time. But you're trying, right? You're just trying. All right. Laying it back down this way, you can see these come together in the middle to make a point. All right, and sometimes we'll fold it up here and we'll fold down the wings, and that would be great. But we're going to take this another step because it'll fly a little further if you do. So now, kind of the same thing. Take this top corner, this top edge that's on a diagonal now, and fold it in to the middle of your paper. And this paper here is a little bit thicker, so I really got to push. When I push on my folds, all right, if I have a fold and I'm pushing and I'll use like the back of my thumbnail. It's got paint in it, but I'll use the back of my thumbnail and I'll push on that fold. That's got a name. Pushing on the fold is called creasing. You want to crease it really well. So let me do the same thing right here. Line it up in the middle, push it down, and then crease it. Pretty simple, okay? The hardest part is figuring out how to get those top corners if I open that up. So you're taking this top corner to the middle. Then you're taking this corner again to the middle. And now that you have both sides, and you can go ahead and fold that up in half. You want these to be about the same size in the back. If you have one that's really tiny and one that's really big, you really didn't fold that paper in the middle. And you can see mine's off a little bit. So nice point at the end. Then we're going to lay this down. So now we have this folded in half. We're going to take this top edge and we're going to make it so that it touches the bottom edge. All right? I like to do it just like that. It's pretty close to the bottom anyway. Here and here. All right? So it's pretty even the whole way across. I'll flip over the plane and fold it down the very same way, so that it's lined up with the other side, and squeeze, crease, give it a good crease, crease it, and when you open it up, it'll look something like this. All right. Don't forget to decorate your airplane. And remember, when you're decorating your airplane, the more marker you use, the heavier the paper airplane is going to be. And the heavier it is, the less it's going to want to stay in the air. Crayons, markers, color pencils, anything you use has weight to it. It's going to add to the weight of the paper. If you're using a marker, it's probably the best thing to use to make patterns and designs, but remember to let your paper airplane dry out, because the markers are damp. That water will actually add weight to your plane. So once it's all dry and you're ready to go, put a line on the ground, stand behind that line and see how far you can do it. Maybe do it a few times and see what your best distance is. So good job on this. I hope you had a good time making an airplane with me. This is a type of airplane I made since I was a little kid, and I hope you enjoyed it too. All right, post, comment, how far did your plane fly? I'm going to be throwing my airplane out in the courtyard, and I think what I'll do is have as many kids outside as I can safely get their airplanes, line up behind a line, and then on the count of 3, we'll all throw it at the same time and see, does anybody go farther than 5 feet? If it does, we've made good airplanes. So be safe, and I'll see you soon. Have fun. Mr. Darby, signing out.